Hello everyone, I am Kirtan Devadika. I am here to present the topic of Trilateral Treaty. Trilateral Treaty is a treaty between three countries. Something have the three sides and perspective on the treaties. The following are the trilateral treaties. The Delhi Agreement. The Delhi Agreement was a trilateral agreement signed between India, Pakistan and Bangladesh on 28 August 1973. The treaty was signed by the foreign ministers of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh in Delhi after the Simla Agreement. It was ratified only by India and Pakistan. It allowed the repatriation of prisoners of war and interned officials held in three countries after the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. They know the background. During the 1971 Bangladesh War, thousands of Bengali bureaucrats and military personnel were interned in West Pakistan along with their families by the Pakistani government. In Bangladesh, many in the Urdu speaking community wished to reallocate to Pakistan. President Zulfikar Ali Bhutto threatened to put interned Bengali officials on trial if Bangladesh proceeded with plans to indict alleged Pakistani war criminals. India held several thousand Pakistani prisoners of war after the surrender of Pakistan on 16 December 1971, including 195 military officers held for breach of conduct. Then no implementation. The treaty came into effect on 8 August 1973 and ended July 1974. Under the terms of the agreement, UNHCR supervised the repatriation of Bangladeshi and Pakistani citizens. According to the UN, 1,21,695 Bengalis were moved from Pakistan to Bangladesh. They included high-level Bengali civil servants and military officers. 1,08,744 non-Bengali civilians and civil servants were moved from Bangladesh to Pakistan. India released 6,500 Pakistan posts who were mostly transported by train to Pakistan. In 1974, General Niazi was the last Pakistan officer symbolically repatriated through the Wagha border. Although the agreement called for the repatriation of Urdu speaking Biharis in Bangladesh, the Pakistan government backtracked on his promise to resettle the community in Pakistan. This gave rise to the stateless stranded Pakistani community in Bangladesh. The next one is first trilateral meeting between India, Afghanistan and Iran. The first trilateral meeting between India, Afghanistan and Iran of the Coordination Council of the Chabar Agreement took place on October 23, 2018 in Tehran. The Indian delegation was held by Mr. T.S. Trimurti, Secretary. The Afghan and Iran delegations were led by respective deputy ministers of transport. The detailed discussions were held between the three sides on full operationalization of trilateral agreement for international transit and transport through Chabar port. All sides shared the view that full operationalization of trilateral Chabar initiative will promote connectivity and economic development of Afghanistan and the region. It was decided to constitute a follow-up committee. It would hold its first meeting within 2 months in Chabar port, Iran. It would inter alia discuss and aim to finalize protocol, harmonize transit, roads, customs, consular matters that was chaired by the Indian side at the meeting for the making the route attractive, decrease logistic costs and pave the way for smooth implementation of trilateral Chabar agreement. It was decided to hold the next meeting of the Coordination Council in the first half of the 2019 in India. Next one is India France Australia Trilateral Agreement. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, France's Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs Mr. Jean-Yves Le Drian, and Australia's Minister for Foreign Affairs Senator Marise Payne. They met in London for the first India France Australia trilateral ministerial dialogue on 4th May 2021 on the sidelines of the G7 foreign ministers meeting. India, France, and Australia are committed to advancing their shared values and working together to achieve a free, open, inclusive, and rules based Indo Pacific. India, France, and Australia undertook work together with a range of partners to promote the rules based maritime order based on respect for sovereignty and international law. The three ministers reviewed the outcomes of the first India France Australia Foreign Secretaries trilateral dialogue held on 9 September 2020. The ministers agreed to deepen cooperation on maritime safety and security in the Indo Pacific region. The ministers committed to work together, enhance the health and management of the oceans. It was including promoting the development of sustainable blue economy, protecting coral reefs, supporting marine biodiversity, and combating marine pollution, particularly plastic pollution. They underscored their commitment to developing sustainable, resilient, and quality infrastructure in the Indo Pacific region, and they agreed to work through the coalition for disaster resilient infrastructure in advancing this objective. Next one is India, Brazil, and South Africa Trilateral Organization. This organization was established in June 2003. IPSA is a coordinating mechanism amongst three emerging countries, three multi ethnic and multicultural democracies. The establishment of IPSA was formalized by the Brasilia Declaration of 6 June 2003, which mentions India, Brazil, and South Africa's democratic credentials, which are determined to contribute to the construction of a new international architecture, bringing their voice together on global issues, deepen their ties in various areas. The included summit has first IPSA summit was held on 13 September 2016 at Brasilia in Brazil. Second IPSA summit was held on 17 October 2007 at Swane in South Africa. Third IPSA summit was held on 15 October 2008 at New Delhi in India. Fourth IPSA summit was held on 15th April 2010 at Brasilia in Brazil. Fifth IPSA summit was held on 18 October 11 at Swane in South Africa. Additionally, the foreign ministers meet about the once a year to preside over the trilateral ministerial commission meetings of the forum. The following meetings have taken place to date. The first March 5th, 2004 in New Delhi. Second March 3rd, 2005 in Cape Town. Third March 30th, 2006 in Rio de Janeiro. 4th July 16th and 17th in New Delhi, 5th May 11th to 8th in Summerest West, and 6th August 31st to September 1st to 9 in Brasilia, 7th March 8th to 11 in New Delhi, 8th October 17th to 17 in Durban, 9th September 27th to 18 in Newark. The activities can be divided into four tracks: political coordination, sector cooperation through 14 working groups, IPSA facility for poverty and hunger alleviation IPSA fund, people to people fora, involvement of other factors beyond the executive example, civil society. First one is political coordination. The IPSA forum has achieved important results in terms of political cooperation so far. Numerous declarations of heads of state and government and ministerial communities have been issued. Sector cooperation. The following working groups were established with the objective of deepening the mutual knowledge and exploring common points of interest in sector areas like agriculture, culture, defense, education, energy, environment, health, human settlements, transport and infrastructure, public administration, revenue administration, science and technology, and information society, social development, trade and investment, and tourism. Within the working groups, numerous agreements and memorable of understandings were signed in order to legally support the cooperation. Third one is IPSA Fund. The IPSA Fund, which was established in 2004 and became operational in 2006, supports projects on a demand-driven basis through partnerships with local governments, national institutions, and implementing partners. The IPSA Trust Fund operates through a demand driven approach. Governments requesting support by this fund initiate discussions with focal points appointed among countries' offices around the world. If a proposal receives favorable review, UNDP's United Nations Officer for South-South Cooperations, which act as the fund manager and board of directors secretariat, initiates contact with the potential executing agency to advance a project formulation and to facilitate the project implementation. Fourth one is people to people flora. Aimed at deepening the relationship between the societies in India, Brazil, and South Africa. Other fora have been created to promote the exchange of ideas and cooperation and as a means of engaging society at grassroots level, like academic forum, business council, editors forum, intergovernmental relations and local governments, parliamentary forum, three nations summit on small business, women's forum. The next one is India, Israel, and US trilateral agreement on defense technology. It was signed by India, Israel, and US on 18 April 2021. It also promised to give a technology edge to their militaries, develop interoperability, and provide opportunities for exports. For United States, Israel is a principal military ally in West Asia. It is a technological advanced partner for research and development in emerging technologies in defense and cybersecurity and also other domains such as renewable energy and food security. Israel defense companies such as Israel Aerospace Industries I have an extensive engagement with US defense companies like Boeing and Lockheed Martin. Silicon Valley majors such as IBM, Intel, and Google have tapped into Tel Aviv's startup ecosystem for years. India has emerged as the principal US partner in the Indo Pacific and offers a large market for its defense industry. Thus, US has developed thriving defense and security partnership with India since signing the framework agreement for defense cooperation in 2005. It was renewed in 2015. In 2020, the ties were elevated to a comprehensive global strategic partnership. For Israel, substantial American foreign and military aid has enabled Jerusalem to achieve a qualitative military edge over its quantitatively superior Arab neighbors. Israel has used American aid to innovate and develop military hardware such as the Iron Dome and Davis Sling missile and air defense systems, providing its territory and population much needed protection from rockets and projectiles fired from neighboring territories. As major non-NATO ally of the US, it gets specific military benefits like advanced defense technologies on a priority basis and intelligence sharings. The high degree of mutual trust between the two countries is also evident with Israel being the only country to receive unfettered access to American military and technology and equipment such as the F-35 fighter jet. India is the largest purchaser of Israel's weapons, which has provided the latest defense industry much needed, stable access to a large market, and funding for its research and development. There is also extensive people to people contact between the two countries, joining hands with India in expanding the scope of bilateral defense cooperation to include the US will not only reinforce its access to the Indian market but also offer opportunities for exposed to emerging markets in Asia and Africa in these traditional defense export destinations. For India, a potential trilateral defense cooperation, it will build on the robust bilateral defense and security cooperation developed in the last decade with the US and Israel. Both countries are major defense suppliers to the India. They have also taken the initial steps in joint research and development with India's state-owned defense research and development base. I finally conclude that rapid technological advancements today will ensure that those nations which harness and adopt them will be ahead of their competitors. It is imperative that India, the US, and Israel join hands to expand their advantage. Each country with its unique advantage in the field of science and technology, innovation, and startups can make a significant contribution to this collaboration. This trilateral partnership holds the promise to advance regional stability and international security. Thank you.